Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is Naaman with the DC camp. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, who, through the Holy Spirit, continue to push out this truth. All right, this, like I said, um, this is going to be in response to that classic video that you see here on the screen. GMS on air that the bishops went in on, exposing Esau, the beastly wild man hidden underneath a suit and tie. Classic. All right. In fact, I recommend that you download this if you haven't, because and start to, as I do, because more and more of this information, damaging information. All right. Uh, more and more of this is coming out, and this individual that we're talking about, the so-called white man, has spent a long time, decades, centuries, building up this image, all right, that he is pious and benevolent, and hence one of the reasons why he calls himself white when you check the definitions, all right, and this need to cast Jake, in this low, criminal, animalistic state by contrast, when in actuality it's the opposite. And it's a psychological term called projection, all right, which is what he does. But I thought I would, like I said, address a book that the bishops brought out in that video that is no longer in print, but I found it on online in PDF form, and I will share the link, of course. Here it is. It's called The Wild Man, Medieval Myth and Symbolism. I thought we'd go through this together. I've already, you know, um, just perused it, uh, but we'll, hey, do it together once again. This is The Wild Man, Medieval Myth and Symbolism by Timothy Husband, with the assistance of Gloria Gilmore House, all right, Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, all right. So here we go. Like I said, this is all scriptural when I said about him having this, and I'm not a psychologist, this is just common sense, all right. He has this need to cast us as the bad guy, as the criminal, as this degenerate, hence he calls us black, all right. So, which is something we need as a people to get away from, because there's no one black and there's no one white, all right. That's just that box, all right, that is he's cast us in, and it's actually an insult each and every day. But our people, hey, there was a song, James Brown, I'm black and I'm proud, out of simplicity, and our people just fall into it. Got the foreword here. Uh, uh, it says, although the scholar's standard endeavor is to trace the history of an idea, the layman rarely has the opportunity to follow this trail of the historian's investigation. The exhibition, The Wild Man, Medieval Myth and Symbolism, offers a valuable examination of an idea together with its imagery. One of the most delightful and fascinating inventions of the medieval imagination, the hairy, primitive, woodland creature who at first embodied all that medieval man hoped he was not, then, as the old order declined, became the object of his envy. And that's to the point. At the end, he's envious of us. Despite all he has done to us, we're still here. Excuse me. And his nature is the same, despite him putting on a suit and tie. Hence the title of that video that the bishops and elders did. All right. It's like, what's that expression? Putting a lipstick on a pig? It's still a pig. All right. So here's the thing, and I said it was scriptural, so I'm gonna go to it. He's just got this um, Psalms. Hold on, is it 60? I think it's 62. Yeah, and this is what he presently and has been all about his whole nation. This is Psalm 62 and 4. It says, they only consult to cast him down. Who's the him? That's us. Cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. You see it all the time. Yeah, I'm going to give you a backhanded compliment, but in actuality, you know, they're experts at this. All right? They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. They had that fake ass smile. All right? But a lot of our people they're still under that notion that just because someone smiles at you, they like it. No, 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 no. This motherfucker hates us. All right? You know, that's why King David said what he said in Psalms 137. All right? These motherfuckers are not to be trusted. Sirach 12 and 10 on down. Please read that if you're, or Ecclesiasticus. All right. Can't sum it up any better. All right. But let's go over this book. So one of the things they brought out, the bishops and elders, in that video was that he has dispelled this as myth. All right. And I will bring your attention, hopefully, to this book here. This is called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. All right. And it tells you, gives you all of these protocols. All right. And one of them I got here, it says, we shall change history. And that's on page, when you get the book, that says protocol number 16. All right. We shall change history. Because as you're going to see, the real history about them is not too kind, nor should it be. They've succeeded in hiding a lot of that and lying about it because they control everything. All right? It's not hard to understand. They con the whole world. None more so than those people pretending to be us living over there in Israel, the small hatters, the big nosed people, however you want to, whatever you want to call them. All right. Going through the acknowledgments, it says the wild man in late medieval art appeared in many roles and guises. Through vicissitude, his representations and themes essential to his understanding often survived in only a single object. All right. Consequently, without the cooperation and generosity of numerous contributing institutions, both in this country and Europe, this exhibition could not have taken place. All right. The willingness of many of these institutions to lend some of their finest treasures has, furthermore, elevated the exhibition from an iconographic survey to a true feast of the arts. So we're going to go through some of these pictures. Like I say, I'll put this link to this where you can download it in the description box afterwards. All right, here's a representation here, Wild Man, pen and ink illustrations from, I don't speak French, so I'm not going to even massacre that. Let's see. Okay. This is from a play here. Here we go. Now see, these things, images just didn't come out of thin air, so there had to be a reference for something. All right. Wild man here. All right. This is toward the end of the 16th century. So the late 1500s. Far in the forest by a hollow glade, covered with mossy shrubs, with spreading broad, did underneath them make a gloomy shade, where foot of living creature never trode, ne scarce wild beast just come, there was this white's abode. All right. It says, by every account, the wild man's behavior matched his primitive surroundings. Strong enough to uproot trees, he was violent and aggressive, not only against wild animals, but also against his own kind. All right. All right. Down here, it says the hunting party, a hunting party. All right. And it goes on to, and so described, let's see, Valentine and Orson. And so described, the idea persists in, let's see, Spencer's for it says, for other language he had none nor speech, but a soft murmur and confused sound of senseless words which nature did him teach, express his passions which his reason did impeach. All right, base men, all right, as they were going into, all right, Job 30th chapter, why they were driven from the rest of, the dark nations. Wild man at bay. All right. Let's see. A dog-headed. Wait a minute. Hold on. Herodotus even mentioned them. All right. So, this has been going on for a long time. 5th century BC. The Greek historian describes many species in detail. In addition to huge snakes, elephants, bears, horned asses, and other beasts, he states there dwelled in Libya the dog-headed men and the headless that have their eyes in their breasts. All right. But like I said before, this isn't something that just, popped up out of thin air. This illustration here shows Nebuchadnezzar, all right, as it describes in the book of Daniel. It says, cast out among the beast, all right. The Most High brought him so low because of his pride, all right. Here's another one of Nebuchadnezzar, okay. It goes some more, the divine order from wild men to knights to angels. All right. Wild folk family. Here's a family of these devils. Saint Jerome, perhaps more than any patristic writer, gave heretical and demonic interpretation to the hairiness of such mythical creatures. All right. Let me see something here. Let's see, Isaiah, let's see, 13 and 21. That's a stretch there, but we know that's talking about when this country is destroyed. All right. Here goes some more. The age of silver. This is what they are. And we know that, when we had our former camp spot downtown, in the midst of all the government buildings down there on 9th and G where we were, at the portrait gallery there, you go in there to use the restroom, and Edomites, so-called white men, would come in there They do what they, had to do. The majority of them wouldn't even wash their hands. They just zip and dip, you know. Uh, let's see. Uh, it says the positive valuation that primitivism placed on nature did not at first serve to elevate the wild man. As White observes, the wild man as the idea of the noble savage is used. See, they have to be noble savages. Not to dignify the native, but to undermine the idea of nobility itself. All right. And it says this concept emerges in 14th century representations of the knight in combat with the mild man. And we're going to get to that picture, all right, because it shows, here's again, this is a cannibalistic giant, all right. Here they go some more. Let me see this. Okay. Yeah. Here we go again. Hairy bastards. The knights fighting them off. Alright, and here's the one that the bishops and elders showed you briefly. These are Moors. These are Jakes. Alright, and you got these wild motherfuckers coming out of the woods. Alright. Got their bows and arrows and everything out, driving them back. It says wild men storming the Moors' castle. Detail left and center sections. All right, here we go. Here's another one. See, you've got that, what is it? Like the laurel reef. Look here. There's this cave wench. All right. Here's a wood carving. Some more. Look at this. The wild condition from the four conditions of society. Mm-hmm. There's a castle in the background. Two castles in the background. All right. And I cannot read this as it is. Let's see. Oh, I guess they're making sport of them. All right. Let's see. And this is what's on the cover of the book, if you can find it. All right. Here's both pages. Earlier it said cannibalistic giant. Well, this is the both pictures. Lion-headed man and cannibalistic giant. All right. Let's see. And here's an inset here. These motherfuckers like walking around butt naked and shit. And they have the nerve to talk about Hamites, so-called Africans. You know, it reminds me. But before I had pulled up something here I wanted to make reference to. I think it was. Oh, it's just like. I don't even like, I think I've said this in several of my videos, I don't even like being around these people, you know, because as soon as you like enter a room, you can just feel that tension. And the word there is palpable. And I pulled that up because I wanted to look at something else. And palpable just means as an adjective of a feeling or atmosphere. I know some of you have felt it, all right? So intense as to seem almost tangible. Old heads used to say, when something, a situation like that, it said, you know, you could sense it so thick in the air, so you could cut it with a knife. That's exactly what it is. That's the meaning, the word there, palpable. All right. So it was something else I wanted to look up. Let's see. Dang it, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. Oh, now I know what it was. I'd mentioned a word. I'm gonna look it up. It's called projection in psychology. Here it is. And this is what these motherfuckers are expert at. All right. It said projection. Let me find the one I want. Psychology today. Let's try it. Like I said, I'm a layman. I don't claim to be, but this is just common sense. You know, projection is the process of displacing one's feelings onto a different person, animal, or object. The term is most commonly used to describe defensive projection, attributing one's own unacceptable urges to another. For example, if someone continuously bullies and ridicules a peer about his insecurities, the bully might be projecting his own struggle with self-esteem onto the other person. And the late, from here in D.C., the late Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, all right, she wrote the book, The ISIS Papers. She said that a long time ago about this devil. You know, he's got a serious inferiority complex. You got to know that. We're just not in a position to exploit that. Sometimes we do it accidentally, but again, we're in, because these devils are ruling over us. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's see. There these savages are again. Again, it's this need to always portray themselves as the hero, as the so-called good guy. This whole policing thing. All right, classic example of that. Motherfucker got 2 heads, 6 arms. What the fuck? All right. That's gonna about do it. You can't underestimate. Unfortunately, a lot of people do still to this day underestimate this devil's hatred for us. All right. There's no avenue of repentance for this devil because of what he's done. Let's go to Isaiah 34. All right. And we'll start at 5. All right. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. All right. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. They are the people of the Most High's curse. The sword of the Most High Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Most High Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, just the capital city of Edom, and a great slaughter in the land of Edom, meaning it would apply to America today or any place where they rule. And let's see. And the unicorns, verse 7, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. 8, for it is the day of the Most High Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. They're not going to get away with what they've done to us, and this ties into Isaiah 63, all right, when the Lord comes back, all right? So these people are dumb, and they will never to rise again. Isaiah 14 chapter. All right? See, these people, you got to understand, all the shit that's going on in this world, the lack of resources to people that actually need them, all this shit is being orchestrated by these devils. They have the means to solve all this, but they look at us as their playthings, because they think they are gods. He's going to go to Ezekiel 28th chapter, all right? And the Most High tells them, you think you're God, but you're not. You're a man, and he's going to show them he's a man. And it tells you early up in that, at the very beginning of that chapter, you used your wisdom to attain all this wealth and everything, and look what you've done. All right? Now they're in the midst of changing things over to the digital format, and all that's going to do is give them more control. And these dumbasses, the copper tops, the idiots, they fall into this trap that's laid for them. It's either it's to your It's to your advantage now. You know, for security reasons or for convenience. And for the most simple, it's usually convenience. All right. Uh, you know, this is going to be good for when they're not thinking things through. You don't realize that when this becomes reality, this digital system, there's not going to be any kind of working off the grid, under the table, things like that. Everything is going to be tracked. Easier for them to just, hey, if you're trouble, cut his ass off. Cut her ass off. That's what they want. Too much information, like I said at the top. Too much information on these devils, what they've done and what they continue to do has gotten out. And a large portion of their power involves secrecy. That's altogether gone. All right, so I won't spend no more time on this. Like I said, this is good to have in your arsenal if you so desire. All right. Because like I say, this is PDF format because the book is no longer in print. I wonder why. Hey, so as usual, I hope whoever views this is, I don't even think I got like halfway through. But I'll leave the rest to you. All right. So, yeah. Once again, this has been the book entitled The Wild Man, Medieval Myth and Symbolism by Timothy Husband. All right, in reference to that classic video that the bishops and elders did exposing Esau. All right. This one here from GMS on Air 1, exposing Esau, the beastly wild man hidden underneath a suit and tie. Just to give you a chance to download that book. Hey, so with that, once again, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kodash, and of course, salutations go out to the Akim out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth. All right, and honesty and sincerity. Shalom.